tonight, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna step into the circle. We all gonna step into the circle. Which camera I'm looking at? Okay, yeah, we all gonna look. We all gonna step into the circle, and I'm gonna unveil it to you. We're gonna talk about it. So welcome to the circle. My name is Voodoo King, and hopefully it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be another good story. So, yet one night the pharaoh couldn't sleep. He looked at the old high priestess and asked, "Tell me, um, I possess gold that cannot be counted, armies that you know no enemy could defeat, and temples that will outlive me way after I'm gone, generations after I'm gone. And yet, I feel there is something greater than everything I own. And what is the greatest treasure a human being can possess?" He asked. So the old priestess smiled, and not because the question was difficult, but because actually the question was very easy. Um, the priest um, smiled and just walked into the center of the room, and he took his stick, and then slowly he draw 7 circles into the sand. Um, the pharaoh, um, the pharaoh, the pharaoh kneel to the ground, and then look at the sand, and he looked confused, and he asked, uh, "What I'm looking at, right?" And he asked, "Is this the answer?" And the priest says, "No. This is where everything begins." And the priest point to the center, and this is the source of the creator, right? The greatest mystery from which all life flows. Every river returns to it, every soul returns to it, every truth returns to it. Um, and then he began making 7 points around the circle, all the way to the center. 7 points. And he says, this is the 7 eternal principles. They cannot be owned, they cannot be stolen, they cannot be destroyed. Kings rise and fall. Empires are born and disappeared. But the 7 laws remain unchanged. And the Pharaoh, kneeling beside the circle, asked, "Then teach them to me," he whispered. And the priest look at his eyes and said, I cannot teach you them. I can't teach you. They cannot be teach. I cannot be teach them to you. He's a pharaoh. Remember that. So I cannot be teach them to you. And then the priest said, I can only help you remember them, because every child is born knowing them. And then every adult spends a lifetime forgetting them. And you know, I'm saying that because whether this conversation is truly happened, we don't know. All I know, that's where he ends in the book, right? It's a tablet, so that's pretty much where he ends. He doesn't say nothing further than that. But one thing is for sure. Across Kemet, across West Africa, you know, across Asia, across the Americas, it doesn't matter where you go. They call it different names. They call it. They have a different meanings to it. However, these principles follow across the globe. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, an indigenous people throughout the world, or a civilization that had been separated by oceans, spoken like different language or whatever. They all use different names for it. You know, different symbols, different language. Yet, the point I'm trying to make is we all use it. Knowing or not, we all use the 7 principles. And tonight I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna step into the circle. We all gonna step into the circle. Which camera I'm looking at? Okay, yeah, we all gonna step into the circle, and I'm gonna unveil it to you. We're gonna talk about it. So welcome to the circle. My name is Voodoo King, and hopefully this is gonna be a good one. It's gonna be another good story. The universe is not a chaos, although we think it is. You know, if you look up the sky, you think it's a chaotic, but it's not. The universe is governed by principles, you know, invisible laws. So I'm not asking nobody to believe me. You know, I'm asking you to observe everything around us as patterns. The moon follows a pattern. The ocean follows a pattern. Your heartbeat follows a pattern. Your emotion follows a pattern. Your success, your failures, your relationship, but they all follow an invisible principle that we all follow. Let's talk about the first principle, the first law. You know, in Kemet, they will call it thought. In Greek, they call Hermes, you know, the Hermetic principle, or Hermes Trismegistus, right? But let's talk about the first principle. The first principle said, all is mind. All is mind. You see, the greatest prison isn't made of steel. It's not made of, you know, it's not a steel. You cannot cage a man in a steel. You haven't imprisoned a man yet. You know, the greatest prison is belief. If you believe you are not enough, your brain begins to look for proof. If you believe life is against you, your mind filters reality until that is all you see. Neuroscience calls this they call it predictive processing, right? Spirituality has always called it conscious, right? That's what we call it in spirituality. We call it a conscious. Your conscious, right? So, meaning, if you believe in something, therefore the universe, the laws of universe, will make it appear to you. If you truly believe that you can, you will. That is the law of the mind. Also, it works the opposite. It doesn't have no guard. It's like, if you believe you can, yes you can. If you believe you cannot, you bet you won't be able to. You basically, all is mind. Your mind is in control of your own reality. As you believe, so it becomes. Good or bad, the law does not it does not discriminate about how you feel. You know, it does not discriminate about the right or wrong. It's what you believe. If you believe you can do it, you will. The universe will make sure. It's almost if universe will or rearrange so you can actually see it. Either way, right? And then is another law. This is the first circle, right? We open one at a time. So as you move closer to the next one, it's another law called the law of correspondence, right? As above, so below. As it within, so is without. Cold, hot, up, down, in, out. You look at the tree, right? The branches resemble your lungs. His roots resemble your nervous system. You look at the river, now you look at your veins. You look at, galaxies. Now you look at your neurons. Creation repeats himself. Nature always accommodate, and for thousands of years we did study nature, and then we study our body for thousands and thousands of years, like from books like this. Well, as you begin reading and decoding and understanding what these people are talking about, it's all here, right? It's like everything is here, like loud and clear. Why nature, it's imitation of who we are. It's a resemblance of who we are within and without. As you look at nature, you see yourself through it. As the river flows, so is your blood. That is the code of creation. Like I said, you don't have to believe it. Observe yourselves, and then you'll begin to see it. It will unfold in front of you guys. Is an intelligence that is the same intelligence. You can call it God, you can call it the creator, the architect, the almighty, you can call it Jesus, you can call it whatever you want to put a name behind it. But it moves through everything to us and through nature. That is a law of correspondence, as you understand it in law. I'm not going to go too deep. Of course, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years of people really decoding these laws. Today I'm just touching briefly about what it is. You have all is mind, the first law, and then we're talking about the law of correspondence. And then one of my favorite laws is the law of vibration. Nothing stands still. Even this book is not standing still. Although it might look that it's standing still. Nothing stands still. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. It's not simple having emotion. You don't simply have an emotion. You broadcast the emotion. When you feel it, you actually broadcasting. Like you walk into a room. An example. You walk into a room after two people having an argue. They just have an argument. Nobody says a word. Yet everyone that walks in that room feels it right away. You ever felt that? It's like you walk into a room, somebody was arguing. If you work in an office, or why not? It happens a lot. If you work in an office, you walk into the coffee room or whatever. Somebody just had an argument and you didn't even know. You're just walking in and you feel the room is tense. They're vibrating. And that goes both ways. It goes for love too. You might walk in a room and boom, and feel it right away that somebody having a crush on you, or you having a crush on somebody and you vibrating that too. You broadcast vibration, so nothing stands still. Yet you feel it. You feel the energy. The body, it's electrical. This body that we have, it's electrical. It's like a battery. Transmitter is a full transmission. You think of somebody, sometimes you appear. You think of somebody, your phone will just boom, ring, right? You think of somebody, your phone will ring, or that person will think of you, or you call you like, oh, I was just thinking of you, or you got a text message or something. You vibrate just like an antenna. The antenna was made of understanding of how the brain works. That's how Marconi came up with anyway, conversation for another day. But yeah, you vibrate, you transmit, you're a transmitter because you're electrical. Your body's full electrical. So nothing stands still in the universe. Nothing. Not even a rock stands still. Our heart have more magnetic field than the phone. You know what I mean? Your heart is capable of transmitted way more frequency than a phone, and yet it has no antenna, right? You can feel if you're in a relationship with somebody for so long. And then somehow, if you see old couples, right? Old couples is a great example, because an old couple, they'll feel each other, right? I experienced this many times. An old guy was on the superstore. Somehow he fell, hurt his leg, and he fell. And then he's there on the floor, and then somehow his phone rang. And then he answered. The wife was crying already. Said, "Are you okay? You okay? I had a feeling that you something happened." And we all standing there. Everybody's looking at her like. And the phone, he was like on loud, right? He had on speakerphone, because people were helping me. He's just like swipe and put in the speakerphone, trying to tell his wife like, "Oh yeah, I just fell, blah blah." But he couldn't even, before he can even say a word, the wife already said, "Are you okay? You okay? Okay? I had a feeling that you fell. I had a feeling that something happened to you. Are you all right?" And he's like, "Oh my God, yeah, I just fell, but I have help," and blah, 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 blah. And then we all looking at each other like, wow. I was surprised, but not off, it didn't cut me. It's not something that I wasn't, it's not something that I wasn't like too off guard to hear about, right? I recognized it right away what he was. People were like, "Oh my God, what's going on? You guys really connected. This is that." I'm like, oof. No, these people been vibrating. They've been so long. Their heart is been vibrating the same pulse. It's been vibrating in the same thing, that they'll feel each other from miles and miles away, without saying a word. They're feeling each other, right? And your heart will vibrate hard. If you really feel love for someone, you can be sitting in Timbuktu, and you transmit that love to somebody in, I don't know, UK, in the UK, is in London, and then you still can boom, 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 and do that, and that person will feel exactly how you're feeling, you know. And this has been recorded, and neuroscience is recording, like the scientists is recording, like everybody's recording these things. Yet now we begin to talk more about it, but yeah, this is the law of vibration. It's one of the greatest law. I like it. Another law is the law of polarities, right? The law of polarities dictate that is no light without darkness. No, you cannot have a courage if you never had fear. You're not gonna heal without pain. You have to have pain in order to heal yourself. The mistake, it's believing the opposite is your enemy, right? As soon as you feel pain or you got hurt, oh my God, something happened to me, I'm bad luck. Remember, it's not you never have something so cold that at the end of the cold is hot. At the end of the hot is cold. A great example, if it gets so hot, it rains, right? Just like that. You know, if it gets so cold, it gets hot. If it gets so hot, it gets cold. It's the law of polarities exists in nature. This is just nature, right? In us, you cannot have fear. If you have fear, eventually your fear goes to a point that you have courage. You can see, like, it happens a lot with the bullies, right? Kids got bullied at school. They got bullied and they got bullied and they got bullied. Eventually, the kid has been bullied so much, eventually it turned into a hero. You'll mess the other kid up to a point that you think, like, my God, this guy became a lion. He was like the underdog. It's the story of the underdog that we hear a lot. He was the underdog, and then boom, he flipped. Because everything happens on the degree. When you push something to so far, it reached the end, and then it start over to the other end. So at the end of the fear is courage, right? If you have so much pain, at the end of the pain, you begin to heal yourself, right? None is the enemy of the other. It's just the law of polarities, right? You love with grief. If you have love, you have to have grief. They come together. It's like a train, right? A great example, somebody once gave it to me, says, is no investment without risk. The greater is the risk, the greater is the return on your investment. You understand? So you cannot have one without another. People say, no, I want to invest, but I don't want risk. Bullshit. It's like, your track will be so off balance that you won't begin to move an inch. In order for you to have one, you have to have the other. They have to work in parallel with each other. That's the law of polarities. It's like a train track. A train runs on two wheels, parallel with each other. One cannot be off, and the other one cannot be far away from the other. They have to be parallel with each other in order for the law to work. Next law is rhythm, right? The law of rhythm. Everything have a season in the law of rhythm, right? You got winter, you have spring, you have summer, you have autumn, and so is life, right? You cannot bloom every day. It's not every day, oh, I'm happy every day. Wow. You're not a robot. You cannot be happy all the time, and then you cannot be lucky all the time. Things cannot be good for you all the time. Every investment you make in your business cannot give you return 100% all the time. No, life doesn't work that way. Flowers bloom, fall, leaves fall, the tree goes naked, and then it blooms again. Everything have a rhythm in life.